Tonight, I am very happy to welcome Miss Nadia Sahari. She's Lebanese born and now she's based in the United States. She's an actress, singer, author, producer, been doing everything in the entertainment in the USA and around the world. Hello Nadia, how are you?
Good. How are you, Sherif?
كله تمام?
Thank you for inviting me to do this. How nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Nadia, I've been looking in your website, your filmography. You've been doing a lot of stuff, but I want to ask you first about your background. How did you, make the trip from Lebanon to the United States?
I was 2 years old. My
Yeah.
parents brought me. My father was born in the United States, but as
Yes.
a little boy, he was sent to Lebanon. So he grew up in Lebanon and France. So, and his mother was French, French Jewish, and his father was Lebanese. So he married my mother, who was Lebanese.
Very nice. And you were born in Lebanon, and when did you move to United States?
When I was a baby, 2 years old.
Really? Very nice. And then you started when you grew up. How did you get interested in arts and entertainment?
Well, it was a dream I had when I was 10 years old. I used to listen to rock and roll music and I used to watch movies and all the beautiful actresses with their beautiful gowns. Ava Gardner, Marilyn Monroe, uh, all of them. They were just beautiful, beautiful and glamorous. And I loved the glamour. So, and at 10 years old, that was my dream. When I grew up, I was going to be this glamorous actress.
Yes. And I see some of your photos also in belly dancing outfit. And I read that you taught belly dancing to young women, correct?
I did. Yes, I
How?
was a professional belly dancer. I made lots of money. And I had a belly dance school, a school of dance, and I taught over 2,000 women and young girls how to move their hips.
Where in which
Michigan,
state in
Michigan.
Michigan? Very
Uh-huh.
nice, very nice. And also you've been doing some acting as well. You did appearance in sitcom, television, movies, short films. Right now, and I see you have a production companies. Are you developing something right now?
Yes, actually, I'm working with a director and writer. We will be writing a script from my book Breakaway, The Road to Freedom. So we'll be writing a movie script for that, and hopefully we'll be filming a theater movie.
Yes, and
Or
this book was one of your books when it was released.
2009.
Mm. What is all about in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, it's all about my life, a certain period of my life, of the abuse I went through in my family and the abuse I went through with marriages and how I survived it and how God saved me and saved my life and to put me where I am today. Otherwise, if it was not for God, I would not be here.
Yes. Do you think right now women and men and families have more awareness right now about abuse, and more than the time that you experience it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. And I was going through it. I also went through sexual abuse. I went through physical, emotional,
Mm.
not just in the family, but in with where I worked, workplace, like the Me Too movement, except I went through all the abuses under the sun. But when I was going through the sexual harassment I went through so much harassment in my life when I was hired by men to do work. They always harassed me. They wanted more than just me working in the office or working and doing my job. They wanted more than that. And so many times I had to quit. So many times I was put through so much stress. I could not work and just be free to be myself and do the job and go home. And that's why I became an entrepreneur. I got tired of being chased around the desk by a man because I was his secretary who expected more than that. I got tired of that. And I started creating my own work, my own jobs, my own businesses.
Yes,
I've been doing it ever since.
very good. Tell me, in your book and the upcoming feature you are developing, did you change names of real life people you met, to dramatize it?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, I changed everyone's name. Everyone. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you never use anyone's real name. It's not
Yeah.
good to do that. Although, nobody in the world's going to know who they are anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's better for them that you don't use their real names, that you use fictitious names. Yes.
Yes, but it will be mentioned like it is based on a true story, your own true story.
It's a story. It's a memoir. So
Mm,
everything else is true except the names.
yes, but tell Nadia, I'm asking about your YouTube channel. It's a kind of mix between live video interviews and podcasts. And I want to know, like, you have certain guidelines on daily life. Like today, you posted something called "Why We React to Triggers," and not only you're interviewing people, but you are giving some kind of tips, on daily life.
Very good. Yeah, you're right up there. You're checking me out good, aren't you? But that's true. I have a podcast called The Nadia Sahari Show,
Yes.
and that is interviewing celebrities, authors, entrepreneurs. Uh, did I say authors? Authors, entrepreneurs, celebrities, filmmakers, directors, producers, people like that who had a dream, who pursued their dream, who achieved their dream. And it's to tell people who might have the same dream, but they don't know how to begin. They don't know the steps to take. So when they hear my guest, they learn how this guest did it and they can duplicate it. They can do it. They can also do it. And that's pretty much what that is, that if I'm living my dream and I can do what I'm doing, you can do it too. So there's no differences. It's just the passion, the determination, and the know-how, the knowledge, the education. And when you hear stories of others, you learn. And that's what we need to do. We need to learn from each other. And the other show, Fearless Heart podcast, which you were referring to just now, why triggers make us react. That is more of a psychological podcast, which helps people through issues that they have in their relationships. There's so many personality disorders that I never knew existed. And as usual, something in your life changes. So you want to do something to help yourself. In the meantime, you're helping yourself, but you discover, my God, more people are going through this. I've got to help them. I've got to share this with them. Because as women and as men, there's so much we don't know, and we'll never know everything. So what I discovered is there's so many different types of narcissism. There's so many types of personality disorders like bipolar. There's just so much that we mental illness. And who knew all of this? I didn't. I never heard of narcissism until a couple years ago. And I've been talking to women, and many women don't know what that is. And we just never heard that word. So I am trying to have psychologists, life coaches, relationship coaches, biblical coaches, professionals come on my podcast, talk about these disorders and help those who need help, and to reach out and to get educated. If they live with someone who's got these symptoms, these disorders, they will know how to deal with it. And the podcast you're referred to that I did today, the triggers, who knew that emotional feelings control you? I didn't know that. And I just learned that 8 months ago. So emotional impulsiveness and emotional repressiveness is the two major ones. And they both are one extreme to the next. And we need to be more balanced, and we need to learn how to calm down when we have an argument, when we fight with our partner. Calm down, leave the room, pray, ask God to help you. Ask God to help you through it, to fix the problem, to fix you so that you're not going backwards in life, because we carry these patterns from our childhood and we bring them into our relationships. And I've been doing that all my life, but I didn't know. So 8 months ago, I discovered it, and about my brain having a pattern that goes back to my childhood. So whenever someone says something to me that sounds like my father or what he used to say or what he did to me, I react the same way I did when I was a little girl. Scared, frightened. He's going to hit me. He's going to beat me again. He's going to kill me. He's going to do this to me. And that's what happens. So you get terrified and you respond and you react with fear. And your emotions, your feelings control you instead of your mind, and just calming down and letting God take care of it and help you through it. And I've learned that that's what I've got to do. So I've been going to God and praying for 8 months to help me, to fix me, to change me, to take away all those negative thoughts that I had as a child and as an adult when I was getting abused by men. And I have to say that I'm a new woman. I don't have those thoughts anymore. I have positive thoughts. I have good thoughts. I live for today, not for yesterday, not for tomorrow, but for today. And that's what I'm trying to share, because we all have issues. We all have emotional stresses that trigger us, and we don't know how to handle them, because when you're in the muck, in the situation, you can't handle it. You're going, ah, you know, and you want to fight, and you scream and you fight and you cry, and so you're too emotional, so you don't think straight. But you sure do think straight months later.
Very good. And right now, Nadia, do you still organize fashion shows, or you are focusing right now on production of films?
I am
Mm.
focusing on, I'm writing another book called The Hollywood Days, DAZE. And that's about my time in Hollywood. And not only my time in Hollywood, but stories of women that I met and the relationships that they met in Hollywood, and the similarities of the relationships, and how some relationships are fake. They're not real in Hollywood. They all have a purpose. Not all. Some of them have a purpose to get involved with you because they need you for something. They either want to meet the director that you're working with, or they want to be in the movie that you're going to be in, or they want to go to the red carpets that you're invited to, and all this. So they use you and they pretend that you're the best thing that ever happened to them until they get you right where they want you, and then their true colors show up. And I met so many women that have gone through that in Hollywood, with men saying they're directors, they're filmmakers, they're rock and roll stars, and they're this and they're that, but they're not. They're nothing. And they just fake their way through. So the stories that women have shared with me, oh my goodness, So they're going into the book and my story as well. So we all have our stories. And again, this is to help the young girls and the women who have this dream to go to Hollywood, that they will learn from what these women in my book went through and what lives they led and how they got conned and how they got involved with the wrong men and all, and what Hollywood really does to you. So at least they're prepared and they know what to look for and they won't get bamboozled.
Mm.
Yeah.
But Nadia, tell me, what I was thinking of, do people like to hear the stories, because you are confronting them to their reality. I mean, you criticize them, because sometimes people would like to be criticized or hear the negative things about their characters, you know. And Hollywood, I know it's a very complicated place to be, for artists, women and men, everybody, newcomers, veteran, it's a very complex place to be. And I'm asking because I want to know, was your book well received or it was criticized?
Which one?
The first one.
Oh, the first one? Oh,
Yes.
no. I have 5-star ratings and reviews on Amazon.com. I was in the top 100 bestseller when it came out.
Yes.
And everyone that reads it can't believe that I'm sitting here right now talking to you. And so in my life, everything I do is to help other people. The
Good.
books I write are to help other people, women, men, children, everybody. The podcasts that I have, it's to help other people. Everything I do is to help people, to make them aware, because those are things that I went through. I have the experiences. I'm a life coach. I'm not a psychologist, but I've experienced life and I can help anyone. I can help someone who might step into something in their lives and pretty well fall into quicksand. This way I can prevent them from going into the quicksand. I can help them and let them see that there's quicksand. Oh, I better not step in there. That's dangerous.
Yes.
So my life is to help others. I'm very altruistic.
Excellent. And right now, how is the situation in California? I'm hearing about the fire. Of course, we are, fighting with this COVID thing, the corona, And
Everybody.
tell me, what is the situation right now? We are in September. I'm hearing the theaters most of them are closed, cinema and plays, So what's going on right now?
But the theaters are opening up, but there's guidelines, of course, and people have to wear a mask, and they're going to have 6 feet apart, and they're going to have people cleaning and using antibacterials and sanitation and wipes, and so they're doing things because honestly, business has to go on. People have a livelihood. And that's the bad part about this pandemic. So many people have lost their jobs. So many people in California have lost their homes due to the fires. It's like one thing after another. And then there's the hurricanes. And so we've experienced a lot of things here in America. And of course the protests now, and there's always something going on. And what we need more than anything is to get on our knees and pray to God and ask him to come back into America and to save America. This is the problem. America left God out for years, took him out of schools, took him out of everything. And we need to put God back in America. We need to pray. And I believe, and I know this for a fact, because when I pray to God for answers to my prayers, he answers them. Sometimes they're not what I want, but I know they're the best for me. And I know if we all got on our knees here in America, things would change around the world. And around the world, they need to get on their knees and pray to God and to change what's going on. God wants us to go to him. And that is the key. But it's sad because everyone's out, most people are out of work, most people are struggling, they don't have homes because of fires and hurricanes and natural disasters. And
Yes.
that's the sad part about this whole thing. And
Yes.
I just pray, and I pray every day for America, for uh, everything, for the president to be, for whomever it is. We have to pray because really that's the only way we can get through this. We can't do it on our own. We're too weak, and it's too big. The world is too big. We can't do it. But God created this world. He can do everything. One swipe of the hand and it's all gone.
Very nice. Nadia, tell me, did you visit recently the Middle East or any Arab countries?
No, I have not been to the Middle East since I was 14. And when I was sent there at 14, it was to get married. And I said no. I'm a
So,
rebellious wild child.
so they wanted to get married at the age of 14,
I did not.
but they wanted you to do
Yeah,
too.
they did. You know how that goes. No, I did not want to. No, no, no,
Mm.
no. And I said no, no, no when I got there.
Yes. And tell me, do you think uh, you like to translate your books into Arabic or other language?
Yes, I will be doing. I need to definitely do that, not just in Arabic, but Spanish, uh, more languages for sure. And that's something that needs to be done. I even need to do it in audio. Need to do audiobook. And
Yes.
that's really, I'm working on the audiobook. And I think the audiobook might be the best thing even to put into different languages too.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully everything will be okay, and I hope we can see you in Egypt. In one of our events next year.
I think we will.
Uh, uh, don't worry. We won't making you get married or something.
I would like to visit now.
Mm.
Well, now, not now, because they just had, Lebanon just had that awful explosion.
Yes.
Oh, terrible, terrible. And
Yeah.
so, but I have been to France, I have visited France, I have visited most of Europe, actually. I love Europe. And I
Yeah.
love the Middle East, but I just want to make sure that it's built up again and nice and things are going nice before I go back.